Now that you've actually created your page in your module, I'm going to show you how to add content to it. It's tempting to use the three-dot menu to the right of the page name and press edit, but remember, that's only going to let you edit the title and the indentation of the page. To actually go in and populate the page with information, you need to click on its title, and then in the upper right-hand corner, you can edit. Here you'll notice it lets you edit the title of the page, but now it's also going to let you edit the bulk of the page where all your content is going to appear. So I could just go in and start typing directly into the page. Oh, there we go. But I've actually got something that I just copied over from a Word document, so I'm going to go ahead and paste that in. You can do that by pressing Edit, Paste, or you can use the keyboard commands, hold down Control and press V. Okay, it wanted me to use keyboard commands. So now I've got my content in here that I copied over from an existing Word document I already had. And now I just want to kind of make the page look appealing. Whenever I create pages, I think in terms of what textbook designers do. They use subheadings, they use bold font to highlight key ideas, sometimes they'll use color to break up a page. The key design principle here is readability and functionality. So the bulk of my content is going to be black and white. I wouldn't suggest, using a color like red because for the bulk of your content because it can get very difficult to read color on a screen. But I would say it's a nice idea to use color sort of to break up sections of the text. For example, this is sort of the main idea. So I'm going to highlight it and I'm actually going to change it from paragraph size to heading size. And I want to make it stand out even more, so I'm going to make it bold. And then I also want to center it. So I use the three-dot menu, and from here, the drop-down for the alignment, I'm just going to choose center. And you know what? Let's make it even more special by adding some color. So I'm going to choose the text color button, use the drop-down menu, and let's go purple. Okay, so now that bit of text really stands out. If I want to make key ideas stand out, I can always bold them. So the idea that ethos is really about a writer or speaker's authority, credibility, and believability. Maybe I want to make that bold so that it stands out to my students because it's a key idea. Another way I can make key ideas stand out is to highlight them, just like you would if you were reading a textbook page or a book page and you wanted to highlight a main idea. This little background color button will essentially function as your highlighter. So I'm just going to choose a light color so that it looks like a highlighter, and there we go. Now my students can see those main ideas really clearly. I also want to make the examples section stand out just a bit too. Maybe I don't want it to be as big as my top header, so I'm just going to choose heading 4. And maybe I want to bold this as well and add some color. Okay, now you can see that I've got a bulleted list of examples of ethos appeals. And maybe I'm envisioning this page kind of as a do now. So students will read the brief overview of notes and then they'll do something with that content. So what I'm going to do is actually add a bar between the notes and the activity. So I want to get rid of my bullets. I press enter and just enter twice, sorry. And now what I want to do is insert a horizontal line. This kind of just breaks up the page. So they've got notes on top and now they've got the activity. So maybe we're going to go back to heading 3. We'll go bold and purple again. And we'll say do now, turn, and talk. All right. I want to go back. So whenever you press enter, Canvas is going to default you back to paragraph, which is kind of nice. I want to stay bold, but I want to go back to black text. I just want to outline the directions for my students. Now I'm going to get rid of my bold. Oh, not everything, just that. All right. So now what I'm going to tell my students after, let me get rid of the bold now. In fact, you know what? I'm going to use italics to indicate that they have to read the notes first. After you have finished reviewing the notes above, take a couple minutes to analyze the print advertisement below. Copy the chart under the ad into your notes and add your ideas in bullet form. once you've answered both questions, turn and talk to the person next to you and compare your responses. Okay, so I have a simple activity now. What I have to do is I have to put in both a table and a picture. So I'm going to show you how to add the media first. You can do it one of two ways. You have to use like shortcut icons here in your ribbon. This one is for images, or you can go to Insert Image, and it's going to ask you what kind of image you want. You can upload an image from your computer. So I just quick found something, saved it to my computer from Google. That's what I'm going to do. Course images would be images you've already uploaded to Canvas. Same thing like with your user images. So those are like your big overall account versus this particular class that you're teaching. Upload image is what I use 99% of the time. From here, I'm just going to click on the rocket ship, which will bring up my little browser here. I'm going to choose desktop, and then I'm going to find my picture, ethos. Okay, it'll show you a preview of your picture, and if you're happy with what you see, submit. It's easy to resize pictures in Canvas, which is really nice, and it'll preserve the ratio. So I can just drag from the corner to make that picture bigger if I want to for my students. And now I told them they had a chart. So what I'm going to do is show you how to insert tables onto your pages. You're going to choose Insert, Table, and I'm going to go 3 columns, 3 rows. Okay, now I want the heading row to be centered. So I'm going to use my 3-dot menu, choose my center alignment, and I want it to be bold. All right, by selecting all 3 of those cells, that formatting should apply to all of them. So I'll put, except it didn't. If you make a mistake, Control Z, just like I did, you saw I dragged too far. Control Z will undo anything you do in your page. There we go. Question, my thinking, my partner's thinking. Okay. So I want them to record their ideas and what their partners are thinking. You have to enter your text first, and then you can press bold. Okay, now I'm just going to add a number, and I'm going to say, how does the advertiser create ethos appeal? Is the use of this appeal effective? Why or why not? Okay. And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I want to add one more row. So you'll see this menu that pops up when you're working in your table. Here, if you just roll over the icons, it'll tell you what they can do. I want to insert a row beneath that to add another question. So that's simple. And I'm just going to add, how might the advertiser have made the ethos appeal even more effective? What changes could the advertiser make to improve the ad? Okay, so now they've got their 3 questions, and the most important aspect is save. You must save your pages if you want this content to be available to your students. You actually have to go even one step further. You'll notice this is unpublished. So once I want my students to see it, then I can press that publish button. If you have any questions, please let me know.